because Berserker has Zaahen ultimate already from the beginning. Dhokla made himself a tank, and they both had extra Zonias. So we'll see about the next one. Maybe that's the mind game. You say, you're too aggressive, and then you trick them to not go in.
I gotta say, LYON played it really well though, because I do think, traditionally those compositions we see often do well in lane, but then kind of fall apart. I felt they really played well when they were strong, which was early, and then once TL hit 2 items, they're like, you know what, we would lose fights here. They just completely avoided them, played side lanes really well. They just played completely to the strengths of the team, and that was, I think, one of the cleanest games we've seen from LYON.
And it's a huge thing to say that. It's very meaningful for this LYON roster that everybody, including us, were very skeptical. How are these players going to work together? You know, we were like, okay, you got a lot of individual talent. Are there going to be personality clashes? Are they going to be able to see the game the same way? And from watching the last couple of series, even just the first game of this series and the last series, it does seem like everybody is on the inspired viewpoint here, and especially with coaching staff helping out and align these viewpoints. Very fearsome LYON if they are coordinated like that. Let's see what TL can do about it though, because they definitely have the capabilities here to change the script. Ryze picked up on one side. Maybe it's the Taliyah answer here. Pantheon is banned, but
Anivia is up too, so
yeah,
true. That's kind of what I'm expecting. I feel like Anivia has gotten so popular as an answer. Cassio obviously is banned out. Taliyah definitely not bad. I think you can go a lot of different angles, but I tend to be on the Anivia train these days. Ryze, I do think you can struggle in team fights against him too.
And it's the Taliyah answer. So they're going this route with the Yunara as the bot lane. So 2 of the primary carries are locked in.
Yeah, looking good. So we get another standard mid lane trade. The Maokai, again with these Maokai buffs on this patch, I'm a big fan. Bring back the tree here. It just provides so much for your team fighting. His Q smites do incredible damage for smite fighting anybody. Not going to be quite yet, and so we'll just get mirrored on these lanes so far. Yunara gets answered with Corki, another very, very common answer.
Hear me out, Yunara top. What if Dhokla goes back-to-back, you know?
I'm hearing you, but I'm not listening.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying. I do think with Corki, it's probably going to be the Neeko or the Nami. They are going to look to try to dominate the lane. TL's bot lane is really well known for their 2v2 play, so I think this makes a lot of sense. Neeko gives a lot of power here and does give you some engage as well. Lulu, I think, would be a strong answer, and I do think if you're going to be playing, this patiently, as LYON has been playing.
That was a boo. That was a loud boo in the audience right there on the Yuumi hover. Do we like Lulu more? Is it a yay Yuumi or Lulu? I mean, I'm not hearing anything. All right, well, it's a Lulu.
They're ambivalent.
They're ambivalent about Lulu.
The other side.
Okay.
We got a Lulu fan in the audience. So Enchanter matchup to try and keep your Yunara safe into this kind of lane dominant Neeko Corki.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of expect to get pushed in. Obviously, you do have really good extended trades as the Yunara and the Lulu if you can get the passive stacked up. But Corki and Neeko are not going to give that to you. They're just going to look to try to poke and prod and push you in, harass you, and try to bully you in this 2v2.
So the AD junglers are dropping down. Like Xin is still very prominent and would be very, very effective. I expect it to be kind of a battle, especially if you ban the Trundle. Trundle is a nice answer into Xin traditionally. Plus, it can open up your blind tank that I'm expecting Dhokla is going to have to blind the tank this time because Team Liquid will save their red side counter pick for Morgan. So Trundle ban is good. Maybe it puts even more kind of focus there towards the Xin for the AD focus.
There it is, banned out. So Xin going to be banned out. And I mean, you're talking about AD junglers. I've mentioned this before, but it's basically the top 20 junglers in pro play are basically all AD junglers. That is it. That is all people are playing these days. And so there's so much focus in this already because obviously we had 2 played the first game. Vi, Jarvan, the Trundle, the Xin, the Poppy, the Pantheon, like all potential AD jungle picks, all have been banned out. So that pool is getting thinned quite a bit. There is still stuff like Malphite that's really popular these days. Not as an AD pick, but Malphite is quite popular. And you can go towards like Lee Sin and stuff like that. That is a bit more down the tier list, but Jose has played it.
And now with this Sylas ban, I almost feel like if Team Liquid are forced to go for the Malphite ban themselves, because if you give that up and you don't have counter pick like the Sylas, it gets really difficult to shut that down. I still love the Malphite, especially when this composition doesn't have like pure engage. And Inspired has been leaning towards a lot of these junglers that are more reliant on the ult. You made a point earlier, Azael, that like the team is playing around Inspired so much better, and I think it's opened him up to play less things like the Xin Zhao, like the J4, where he has to make action happen himself. He can rely on the team more, which opens up things like the Malphite to set his team up for the carry.
I'm actually so surprised when they banned Sylas. To me, that is such an obvious tell that you want to play
Yeah.
Malphite. I was actually really surprised that it's an Ornn ban instead. So TL is betting on the fact that they're going to be able to get more out of top lane, you know, by dominating there. But Malphite is really strong. Maybe going to go Mundo instead. I mean, Mundo, if you're expecting the Malphite, maybe that's what he's saying is like, because Mundo is a great answer into the Malphite,
Sure.
so maybe he's saying, oh, I know what you're going to do. You're doing this, you're leaving this open because you want to play Mundo and try to outscale, which could make some sense. But Malphite is great because you can build all these cheap support tank items, right?
Yeah.
Like, and, you know, that is just so effective. You can get to 1, 2, 3 items really, really quick. You can spike well on that. You can set up for your carries. You already have super high damage.
Like the
Do
Zeke's rush.
it.
Yeah.
Do it. Graves did get buffs. Did get buffs to his passive here. The True Grit, not gonna slam it this time around. Just playing with you. Rumble was still off the entire time, so feels happy grabbing this one, no problem. I mean, lots of AP damage here for TL.
So it's like you banned Ornn to get this Rumble, but he can just play Galio. So I still feel like the Ornn didn't really accomplish anything. I'm really curious what the jungle pick is, because to me that is whether or not, like, that is going to determine whether or not the Ornn ban made any sense.
Yeah, and a Malphite Galio combo engaged to
Really
set up for a Yunara to free hit.
Oh, but this is physical damage. I was going to highlight it's almost all APs with the
Or
Corki.
Zaahen jungle. So
I think it's Zaahen jungle.
jungle,
Zaahen
yeah.
jungle is more likely. Zaahen jungle is really good right now. Obviously, Blabber played it really early on.
The
But
return of the Zaahen.
Oh, no, are we going
everyone's
back
been
to
playing
that?
it. I've been spamming this one also. It feels so good. His clear is really good. He moves around so quickly. With the speed of the E, you can get around very, very quickly, and you just can be a huge bruiser jumping into the middle. So it's going to be a tank combo here for the top side. Big Dokes going to go to the Ksante route. This is always really good into Rumble, especially Rumble when there's double AP solo laners. Just go your Kanik Rookern really early on for the Ksante. Feels quite good there. And we'll see, can this Zahungle become an issue early on? Playing into a Lulu is kind of annoying, but you can still get, you can still have very high effectiveness.
I will say one of my concerns is that they're super reliant on Core as really like the only engage, right? And so if LYON are playing as disciplined as they did last game, how do you start fights?
Yeah.
Like that is really it. And when you see someone that is so reliant on things like Flash Room Prison or a Neeko route, well, Lulu can just go in early Mikhails, and then all of a sudden you don't really have a lot of plays as far as that is concerned. They do have a ton of damage over on the TL side, which can get like really, really effective if the fight gets messy, if it's all spread out, because you have all these kind of small skirmishes where high DPS comps can win out. But I do feel like it's going to be hard to start fights, whereas on the other side, Malphite can start them out no problem.
Easy tool to go in with that one. Inspired's got the tools to set LYON up for the victory. They drew game one. They drew victory in game one here in the series. As Azael's laughing at some all chat happening in the game right now.
Yeah, Inspired was shouting him out because he saw the Graves hover and he was like, what? Graves was open.
Yeah.
And immediately Jose's like, it doesn't look good. So,
No, he's talking through all the choices. He's like, Graves is open. Jose goes, doesn't look good. He goes, Lee? He's like, against Malphite Lulu? So
some little coaching going on here. I love it when the players are willing to yap with each other, especially in relatively high pressure series. Again, loser does go home. Winner will at least make it to the America's Cup into Brazil. Yes.
yeah, and it's really just about feeling really confident in their draft. You know, Inspired's like, yeah, we had you in a corner, buddy. What were you gonna pick a Graves? Good try. Honestly, though, I got kind of hyped up because of the recent Graves buffs and seeing, oh man, are we going to get some crazy invade routes and stuff from Graves? Because maybe early on they could put some extra pressure there, try and get Ryze, out and around, helping out with that. But not going to be the case this time around.
Core took some pretty tough trades there. He did lose actually a lot of health. They are both spamming potions, so both supports already gone through all of their potions, and Berserker does have his passive ready, so maybe they're just trying to have a really quick push for level 2. Looks like they will.
Yeah, Yunara not necessarily that weak at the level 1 either. So that's how the bot lane's going here, but we also have Raz standing by with the sideline interview with Coach Spooks.
After I got Coach Spooks with me, first question for you, just based off of last game, anything that was out of expectation because there was a Varus top coming in from Dhokla, anything that you want to see your team do a little bit better going into game 2?
Yeah, there's been like a decent amount of Varus top in competitive and like LPL as well. At the end of the day on blue side, like you're pretty limited to your blinds, so we definitely thought about it, but at the end of the day you have to blind something. I think in terms of our game last game, I just think we had a lot of tools to fight and a lot of tools to engage, but the game went really slow. So we just had to do a much better job of like being aggressive on our turns, and I think that's kind of what let us down last game.
That makes sense. And this game in comparison, I mean, there's maybe a little bit limited tools with the Neeko. What do you want to be able to see from your team in this game in comparison to the last?
Yeah, it's similar. Like if you look at their draft, obviously they just want to wait till Dragon. So they're going to play it the exact same way. But again, we have a lot of tools to pull the map apart with Ryze and with Rumble ults and with Neeko flash ults. So in our mid game, we just need to be way more proactive. It's essentially the same win condition.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you a lot. And I'm going to head this one straight back to the casters.
Yeah, definitely agree. I was gonna say they can't afford to do the same thing they did last game this time around. But are those really gonna be strong tools? I mean, Jose right now is pretty heavily chunked, so Inspired chases him off bottom side Crab, and he'll just run up to the top side one. Can Saints? He does get a little bit of vision and interrupts the recall at the moment, but still not going to do anything as far as Jose. So he should have an easy time just grabbing the Crab anyways. Go into second clear. But it does, like, unless you get an early flash off this Taliyah, are there a lot of ways to make your own plays? I guess maybe you rely on Core on bottom side. Like, maybe Core is able to get a flash out from somebody on bottom side early on, and then you can just make your plays there. You know, Ryze tries to get a roam timing down to bottom lane. Saint is getting a lot of interrupts on him, though.
Yeah, that was actually really nice. You know, he knew because it was the cannon the tower is hitting, he's not even going to miss that minion, so he can afford to walk forward a little bit. Interrupts that recall, which is likely to result in a couple minions lost. But no, I tend to agree with you, Kobe. I do kind of worry for how difficult it's going to be for them to engage. You know, yes, you can look for those flash Neeko ults, but once Lulu has a lot of tools, once Berserker is scaling up, it's going to be tough. And, you know, Yunara gets to a point where you basically have to kill the Yunara to win the fight. Like, you can't go for the other people. And then fighting through Ksante, Malphite, Lulu, and Taliyah rocks is tough, right? So that is kind of my concern for TL's composition.
Yeah, especially if Inspired gets a smooth path to that level 6 for Malphite, and they can actually choose their plays as well. He is, you know, similar to Jose, once again, pathing down towards the bottom side, so both teams will focus this area. At the moment, they get a little bit of push off here, try and deny a minion or two, but really good vision coverage. Again, the path that we mentioned as far as the play.
Unraveled Earth here onto QUID. I think Inspired's just going to land a Q, yeah. No big action.
The important path is going to be this path from mid lane roaming down to bottom side. You know, these different roam angles that you have down towards bottom side, whether the Ryze or the Taliyah can get leverage there, that could be something that can actually blow the game open.
Ooh, ghost spot from QUID trying to chase down Saint right now. Lands the Q, but Saint can back off with a ghost of his own. QUID getting a little aggressive there, though, with Josedeodo clearing out this control ward. Again,
this highway that we just highlighted of mid to bottom, or even the other way around, is so critical. And meanwhile, it is going to lead to an invade afterwards, too.
Yeah, he's wrapping
He might go for a dive. Yeah, if they can actually get in here. QUID taking some damage, flashes away, and Josedeodo gifted first blood.
Really nicely done. Great setup there from QUID. He pushes him in, and Saint, you know, he flashes pretty quick, but once the auto is coming out, the auto always will complete. So Jose able to finish him off.
Yeah, and you get your extra range on the Q here for Zaahen too. So he just had to walk into range, flash for flash, but he goes down, minion wave goes down. Really good early start. It's 1,000 gold lead already.
Wow. With
the first blood bonus, and it goes into your jungler. That is beautiful for them. The consolation prize during the reset, of course, will be Dragon number 1.
Ooh, Morgan taking some damage here. Dhokla has the all-out available, looking for the damage onto Morgan, but won't find any. Morgan actually used the equalizer to hit the wave and was playing around it greatly, so Dhokla not able to actually turn that.
Yeah, he wouldn't needed to hit that third and Dhokla strike. If he got the knockback, you know, maybe you force the flash, or maybe you can look for something more. But at the end of the day, it is kind of just the trade of ultimates.
I want to see if that is the domino. This play of the wraparound dive where QUID forces low health Saint under tower, and Jose gets the wraparound dive out. Is that the first domino that leads to mid lane dominance, into mid lane roaming down bottom side, into mid, making the rest of the necessary plays here for the game for Team Liquid, in order for TL to keep up some early game playmaking and pressure that is necessary for them to bounce back and even up the series.
And I always feel like whether it's Zaahen top, Zaahen jungle, doesn't matter where this thing is, if it gets ahead, it is really, really difficult to deal with. He can just play so aggressively looking for these fights, and then, when he's at the point where he can just run in and look for the dreaded return, and then you flash out, you dash out, whatever, and then Grim Deliverance on your head, like ulti in, this guy can take over fights. He's very similar to Aatrox in that way to me.
If you get fed, you can just take over the game. And also you have a lot of agency, which is going back to what I had highlighted before, and that Inspired, it's Nocturne, it's Malphite. Two junglers that they have a lot of go buttons. They say we're going to start the action, but they don't have necessarily their own agency to carry a game. They need the team around them, which is not what I really think of when I think of Inspired with this squad of Lions so far, as Josedeodo is going for a little invade here.
And it's good because bottom lane for him is pushing. So you can get support from your bottom side moving in, and knowing that you win the 1v1 versus Malphite. Stacks his Conqueror up.
Yeah, Conqueror stacked, passive stacking up as well, and even with Isles there, Inspired will just go towards the Krug. Seems like he is seeding this. Has the unstoppable force, and now the Weaver's Wall comes in, but Josedeodo just turns in onto Saint instead. There we go, the big ultimate Grim Deliverance in, as Yeon getting some damage as well. And Team Liquid, they go deep into Lion's jungle. They lose the first member. Support's down. Yeon will equalize onto Inspired. 1-for-1 trade, support for jungle.
I mean, it looked like Inspired was happy to just give that up and play for his Krug. Saint went in, but he was kind of just in the middle of everyone by himself. That to me was looking more like a play from Saint from the previous weeks before playoffs, because he goes in to the middle of everyone here. QUID is already on the roam, so he jumps off the wall, rooted up, Grim Deliverance, Pop Blossom, everything in.
Yeah, I mean, Isles is like, oh, okay, I'm going to use everything. Get over here and save your life. And he does, save his life. But Inspired was finishing the Krugs at the time. He does finish up with those and use the ult as well. Ends up being 1-for-1 here. Super deep wards, though, and possible repeat plays here for Team Liquid.
Yeah, it's only Flash from Inspired use. Everybody else still has their Flash available. Saint had used his earlier, but like the fact Berserker Isles didn't have to, pretty big for them.
And prior to this game, this was Saint's stats in playoffs. So his KDA just got cut in half because he had another death, unfortunately. But he has been killing it in playoffs. But those were the kind of errors, I think, at times that we saw from him during the Swiss stage that did really hurt Lion, where he was getting picked out. He was sometimes not coordinated perfectly with the rest of the team.
Yeah, I mean, but as Kangas has kind of touched on, TL used a lot to go push him out there. And so on the reset, Inspired will grab the Grubs and first Dragon for Team Liquid. Gold lead, or excuse me, the other way, Lion, and then Team Liquid with the gold lead here. Almost 2K after that last kill. And while it is first item power spikes for both junglers, one of these items is far more expensive.
Yeah.
They're ghosting the bot. They're
not
gonna
exactly
dive.
the same. Yeah, Realm Orb's coming in. They want the full dive. That's a big wave that's crashing. Berserker has got the Lulu in his back pocket, but he's already dying here. Just a Yeon, and CoreJJ looks for the flash out play. Doesn't find it. Isles with a wild growth on himself to try and turn a kill, but a clean dive for Team Liquid, 2-for-0.
That was really well played there by TL. It looks like Jose picked up the turret aggro, maybe accidentally, but then he just played it well. He stayed on the outside, held the aggro. It got a bit dicey, but at the end of the day, it's 2-for-0 on a very aggressive play.
And they got both sums off the Yunara. Berserker using both to try and get a counter kill there. Goes down. The consolation prize is pushing on mid.
You guys want to die?
We should.
I'm
Yeah,
going
Malphite
to
could be, but it doesn't matter.
I
Let's
don't
go.
have ulti, okay?
Yeah. What coming?
We're crashing now.
No ulti in Yunara. I'm
I'm
taking
going Lulu too.
I'm taking. Keep going, guys. Keep going.
Yunara no flash.
No ulti, Lulu. Nice.
Nice job.
Yeah, nicely done from him. He walks in range, starts taking, takes plenty of turret shots, and they're able to complete the bottom lane dive. And again, even though you're like, oh, well, Saint got to push mid lane, they got some gold there, minions and tower plates. Remember, the focus here is a lot of gold on Yunara. That's what Lion wants, because they're running a team with 2 tanks and an enchanter. So Yunara. Berserker needs money. That's why it's a really good idea for repeat plays here for Team Liquid. They're making bot lane play, bot side play, invades on bot side. And they're really trying to kind of keep down the income of the Yunara, of the Berserker, to keep that threat low.
Yeah, and Yeon spotted out that bush play, hit them with a rocket. But both these teams, the expectations were really high for them coming into this year, right? You know, this was the aggregate power rankings. TL was aggregate #1. This is preseason. LYON was down at 4. This was the end of Swiss. Look how far those teams fell down.
Yeah.
TL almost got eliminated by Dig. It was honestly very close in that to even get to playoffs. Then now this is the end of Swiss. This is obviously in playoffs where we are now. So they are at the very least guaranteed top 4. We don't know how far they could go. Either of these teams could win. But it is kind of this like slingshot back to reality because it was so surprising since DSG and Fly were really overperforming expectations and these two teams were really underperforming. But it does feel like they have both really kind of got back to what was making people think they were going to be such good teams.
Yeah.
Rubber band effect.
And I think that we are going to see a really nice full series, a nice bounce back. Zaahen jungle is significantly ahead, as is the Corki. So lots of early burst damage, multiple Trinity forces, power spikes here for TL, and they'll be able to comfortably grab the next dragon.
I mean, the gold lead is 3.4 total, and, you know, 2.2 of that is just between the AD carry and the jungler alone. So, yeah, the carries that you want to be fed are, in fact, fed.
Yeah, and I mean, Morgan now, obviously, you know, he is getting to be the one with more agency in this matchup. Last game, you know, Dhokla was playing very, very well on the Varus in game 1, was looking really, really effective, and this is going to be a much harder game for him. You know, he's more on the back foot. Morgan is the one kind of in that comfort zone now, being able to dominate in that 1v1.
Lord Morgan. The sign, whoever's holding that one's probably very happy. But yeah, here was last game. The 100% win rate, Varus top in LCS all time now.
Yeah,
Exciting.
Big Dokes
Big
here.
Dokes.
Laying down the first Varus in LCS history, top, of course. And had a very good game for himself. This time around, you know, a little bit of rebuttal from Morgan on the Rumble early.
Yeah.
So let's see. Can LYON weather this storm and get to the team fights that they're kind of dreaming of? Berserker has at least been able to finish his Kraken Slayer on the Yunara, which is a very nice first item. You know, spike for the champion, and they do have Malphite ultimate ready to roll. Maybe it's just hovering for the possible, you know, offensive play. Just get your recall off while you're close.
Fool me once, you know. QUID was looking at the bot side.
Berserker gets zoned off from that cannon, though. That's another big gold loss.
Ooh. Good catch right there as Inspired will go for the reset and still heading towards this bottom side because every time QUID pushes a wave, he fades bot. And we do have Josedeodo there as well. They already went for the dive. This time Inspired will spot it out as he sees Zaahen over the wall. Now his Berserker gets some damage as well. QUID is there for backup. Josedeodo's out. But again, LYON, this time they're prepared for it. They're thinking about these dives.
Top though, they're going to try to make a counterplay.
Weaver's Wall comes in here from Saint. Morgan throws out the Equalizer onto the wave, trying to stay alive. Flashes over the Weaver's Wall and will live, but that Summoner spell down.
I feel like Saint got a little too fancy there. He tried to predict a flash with the seismic shove. You don't need to do that. He needs to react to your Weaver's Wall. He's stuck on that side. He will go down, so I think you can just wait for the play. But
Dhokla's just going for the all-out third to topo strike, but Morgan just steps to the side and will accept the donated kill. Now the Realm Warp in the bot lane as well. It's only Isle stuck down here in a 1v4. Not a fair fight. Yeon on a killing spree.
All right, this is cooked. This is absolutely cooked. I mean, after that one, they try to make the counterplay topside. Dhokla tries to go for a big play, like flash in, look for the Pathmaker, but it completely whiffs. And Morgan gets a freebie. They go back to bot side and make that dive happen. It's a 5K gold lead at 15 minutes. And almost 2K of that is on Yeon.
That was a big whoops.
Yep.
On the top.
We get big dokes, we get big whoops occasionally, yeah.
Yeah, Lord Morgan definitely going to rule the top lane this game.
Yeah, I mean, if you're just going to have that type of play. So he had one minion there.
I mean, he tried to look for the... I don't even know if he kills it.
Yeah, he wanted to do the flash ult, but...
Yeah, I think Dhokla was aware of how that went as well.
Yeah. And then
No
this
flash
is what
for
we
him
didn't
now,
get
too.
to see.
Okay, so let's see the setup, though. Yeah, really good proto belt in here for CoreJJ.
Oh.
Very nicely done for CoreJJ. Gets him on the edge, and Yeon not able to react to get out of it.
Yep.
You can see them in the background watching the top lane play, so I think that's what they're reacting to there, as that is tragic for Dhokla. Sometimes you do feel the game is completely falling apart, and you try to make a play, you try to do something big. You're like, all right, pressure's on. I got to make something happen to pull us back. And you end up looking a little bit stupid. And, you know, that does happen. And I think that maybe was Dhokla feeling the pressure to try to do something as the game is falling apart.
Now Herald confirmed here for Team Liquid Alienware. Inspired, though, is going for the engage with the Weaver's Wall coming in. Unstoppable force to start things up, but a teleport from Team Liquid Academy with the rest of the team coming in here. It's Morgan turning on to Dhokla, who now finds himself 1v4. The rest of LYON over the wall trying to get their top laner out of there, but he's still roasted down. Good sidestep from Morgan on the flick back from Saint. Dhokla will go down as QUID picks up the kill. A contest at the Herald goes poorly. That is a kill advantage for Team Liquid Academy.
Clearly in this fight, you see the lead up. They attempt to chain CC Yeon and kill him, but they don't have the correct timing here. The follow through with Taliyah wall isn't in time, because you'll see Inspired ults early to try and keep him on place where the Taliyah wall is coming, and they use polymorph on him as well. But Yeon's able to Valk out. He doesn't even have to use his flash or his barrier. So when you see all this stuff used in an attempt, like, all right, our hope is burst down this Corki, and that goes completely wide. Then they can just chase down Dhokla, play the fight slow. You know he's not going to be able to escape. He's got no flash for sure. So nicely done. It's like TL now with this healthy of a lead, they have kind of the luxury in a lot of these fights, a lot of these setups, and are able to easily punish the attempt from LYON there.
Yeah, add one more member to this big 1K lead. It's no longer just Josedeodo and Yeon, it's also Morgan with the Rumble at a 1.7K lead here. So 1-8 on the scoreboard and a 5K gold lead still. It hasn't expanded since the 15-minute mark, but they can control the map. They get the second dragon now for Team Liquid Academy, or rather Team Liquid Alienware.
Yeah, and he's doing a great job, just farming up with that first strike. Has about 450 gold from the rune already, so that is nice. And it is a good scaling rune. That percentage increase on the damage is really effective in the later stages. So this is looking very tough for LYON. It feels like TL have pretty much got this wrapped up. But that being said, we have seen throws, we have seen mistakes from them.
Team Liquid, yeah.
And so they have to stay locked in. LYON is not going to go down without a fight. Inspired is the kind of player when his team is losing, he doesn't just sit back and go 0-0-0 and lose the game. He's going to keep forcing fights, even if it is a small chance.
And Berserker, you should not be sleeping on this guy either. Even though it was a good game plan early for TL, try and keep the income low. Yunara has at least now finally gotten to 2 items. He finishes his Fiend Hunter bolts. And bottom side play.
And LYON are going to go for a dive. Morgan has a shutdown on him. They want that gold all alone for Team Liquid's top laner. Who gets the credit? Dhokla trying to take up as many shots as possible. Will get them all, but Inspired has to ult out as Saint barely gets the shutdown with the threat of volleys. That took a long time and a lot of health bars.
It did, and you could see that they thought it was going to be kind of an easy dive, but then they kind of had their own team walled off. Saint threw down the Weaver's wall, but Malphite couldn't walk in. Dhokla wasn't doing any damage. Dhokla was taking that forever, so Inspired is thinking, hey, I don't need to use my ult. It did get sketchy. At the end of the day, they get those kills. The question is, do they get caught?
Josedeodo's going in for an invade now. Still in a 1v3, still low health bars for LYON. Josedeodo, though, feeling confident. Isles now coming up, flash forward with the Grim Deliverance. Kill onto Dhokla. Team Liquid's jungler capitalizing on the game state.
And it's all because they use so much time and health to pull off that dive that the extended play from Jose, here we go.
Even more. Josedeodo still looking at it. Inspired pulls him back in. Rooted up. But with Isles there for the shields, he is safe.
You can just even tell what the comms are during that. They're like, run them down. Do not let them get away with this play. That took so long, took so many resources to pull that dive off.
Now Yeon trading with a Berserker here and actually taking a lot of damage. Gotta respect Berserker as the Pop Blossom is used from CoreJJ, gets flash out of Isles.
Yeah, Berserker, he had to use the end of his ulti there to just kind of go back in one more time, and Yeon was down to fight, popped the barrier, just down to scrap. And at the end of the day, they do get the flash heal off of Isles as Core was threatening. They knocked down the tier 1 tower mid, and that was the last standing outer tower there for LYON. So TL now 6.5K ahead. The lead just getting bigger and bigger, and really all LYON can do is continue to try to make these side lane plays. You need odd number of fights. You need 2v1s, 3v1s to really have a chance. Any 5v5 at this point, they're going to get decimated. And even though Inspired has 2 completed items, he's going to be close to his 3rd. Jose has very expensive items. They are not equal.
Those are designer items. These are brand name items here. Honestly, though, if you're all going to make that side lane play, too, you have to make it so quickly because Ryze Realm Warp is here. It's like there's a lot of mobility on TL to get to these plays, to answer these plays. And if you're not quick about it, just you know, count up what TL got in the extended play by chasing them down and forcing. They got 2 extra towers, those outer towers in mid and bottom, plus the extra kills, plus the extra jungle camps. And so they further increased the lead. 2 dragons for them, a minute and a half left on the next dragon. So the goal lead is substantial for them, substantial enough to be able to get deep vision as well leading up to these plays. So TL, you see CoreJJ doing it right now at the moment, getting the preemptive vision leading up to the dragon fight that they assume is coming to allow Core to make that big play. Yeah, there's a lot of pressure on him, but he's a Neeko with flash and deep vision, and Jose is able to bully very easily big chunks of the Malphite health bar.
Yeah, again, the Malphite has 2 ipes completed, but they are not the same equivalent. You know, he's still relatively squishy. They do have tools to try and, like, you know, one-shot Yeon, one-shot QUID if they're able to get on them with the Malphite and maybe a Taliyah flying in on top, but it's going to be difficult at this point with the gold disadvantage. Is all out used by Dhokla here for another 1v1 onto Morgan. Equalizer used, Dhokla playing into it because he's got Berserker coming up with the Arc of Ruin damage. Autos used, transcend oneself. Berserker's gonna look for the credit here, coming. As it's just Morgan trying to buy time for the rest of the team. Flash forward from Yeon, who turns the play and gets a double kill. Get you an AD carry like Team Liquid.
It's not easy to take down Morgan, okay? Every time you're taking down Morgan, you're gonna lose more.
Yeah. Come with the king, you best not miss. And a few too many of those skill shots were missing. And he was just buying time for everyone coming in. TL even gonna be able to get the Baron off the back of this. Inspired's not even moving over. So that is going to open up this lead even more. Objective bounties are there. You know, you're going to keep trying, but it just takes them so long to knock him down. And you could see right from the start, they were already roaming up. They knew that this play was coming, and TL was able to respond.
And Morgan's able to get a lot of value out of his ultimate. He fights on it, gets a bunch of damage done. It's like, okay, you may kill me, but you're both gonna die.
Yep.
In answer for it, Yeon's like, don't worry, I got this, I'll clean up. He flashes to ensure that he can get both these kills. More money funneled into the Corki, and Baron buff on top for TL. That is the perfect thing to actually finish this game. So even if you were thinking maybe there's a timeline where LYON can hold out and play defensively and scale and get a dream team fight, too bad. That timeline got thrown out the window.
Well, that was rude.
Yeah, now with Baron, you just get to push very, very easily.
Yeah, it's hard to win with the first Baron, though. We rarely see games close out that early. What it can get them is so much more gold, plus the control around the Dragon. They have that third one coming, but Berserker and LYON are just covering this top side to get more gold onto the Yunara. I still see that as the win condition. You need Berserker to be able to free fire in these fights if you want any shot. It's just that Team Liquid at this point are just ballooning their lead even more, as they should be able to continue the siege onto these turrets.
Even if that happened right now, you kind of need like Yeon to somehow not be firing, because Corki's got a fully completed Lord Doms, and he knows how to use it. So bottom inhibitor sacrifice, because they're like, okay, fine, you're rich. we don't want the fight, so
Let the supers come in.
We'll try and make a cross map play.
Hey, Berserker can farm up some more waves now. As LYON got some damage top.
Morgan is good weak side, okay? He's not going to expose himself. He's always good in trying to delay and make time and deal enough damage to set up counter plays.
I respect that. I would have died for that wave. There's a cannon minion there.
I can see you staring at it intently.
Yeah. You know, sometimes you just got to choose. Something's worth dying for.
Yeah.
Cannon minions are one of them.
My friend is a big fan of saying, you know what? If they're here and they kill me, they deserve it.
Die. Well played.
Yeah, I'm going to die for this kid. You know?
Got the cannon.
That's just smart by them.
Enemy team is just too good.
Yeah.
My team didn't cover. What can I do?
Hey, it's a cannon and it's EXP.
He says it all the time. He's like, well, they deserve it.
If you die, you die.
I mean, we might see some death right here on screen, gentlemen, as Josedeodo has the team behind him, pushing LYON out from their own jungle. There's no camps to clear. Inspired was able to pick those up, so LYON are just trying to absorb the Baron push, as Team Liquid Alienware with an 8,000 gold lead now. If they find one big pick, if they find one big play, they can just close the game out, even though the Baron should be expiring here soon.
Yeah, I mean, the bot lane inhibitor is gone, so it would be a pretty easy push if they have a wave, but they don't need to risk anything. I think that they want to play it really buttoned up. You know, we heard comms from them last week in their 3-0. Where even from massive advantages, you know, Yeon was telling them, like, stay locked in, focus up, it's not over, you know, these kind of things, because they really want to make sure. And it is going to be about 3:30 until that next dragon is up for them to try to look to claim the Mountain Soul, which is one of the best souls to eliminate the chances of comebacks. Because when you're looking for a comeback, you're looking for a one-shot, and Mountain Soul just makes that much harder.
Exactly. Yeah, you could probably tank the Malphite ult at that point.
Yeah.
And just rely on the rest of the team. So, bot side, super minions, of course. I mean, look at that top jungle's lit up like a Christmas tree in favor of TL. So, this next 3 minutes until the dragon spawns,
those
maybe
LED
we'll
lights.
just be looking at the 2 minutes, you know, because that Baron, we got the lead up towards Baron area lit up so well. Maybe you get a little bit of a bait, and CoreJJ makes a huge Neeko play. Once again, he has Flash and Proto Belt, and he has made already this season multiple game-winning Neeko engages for Team Liquid to get them here. So even the 2-minute timer leading up to Baron looks a little dicey for LYON to deal with.
First Baron, hard to close a game. Second Baron, much easier to close a game, especially when you have this type of lead right here. So using it as a magnet to pull the enemy team into you always feels fantastic when you're the team with this big of a gold lead. And I'm so happy that we're getting a game like this after the last game. Last game was close, but this looks like it's a Team Liquid victory here. Not to attempt to cast a curse them, but that means we could have a series on our hands.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, last weekend was 9 games. The minimum possible games between the 3 series. It was 3-0, 3-0, 3-0 all those days. So it will be fun to see if TL can guarantee that that will not be happening this weekend. Obviously, there's a lot of positive things to say about TL in this game. Something that is working for LYON, though, is they do have the Infinity Edge that has been completed. And assuming Berserker is going to be working in towards probably an LPR next. So that is something. He will be doing some pretty high damage, but like he's going to be the main target.
And look at this, completed Frozen Heart for CoreJJ on the Neeko. So after his big engage, if he doesn't immediately get popped, try and apply the attack speed slow to Yunara to try and further decrease that very necessary DPS source from LYON. So we'll see if he does actually end up getting popped. But again, this is the thing we're talking about, the big problem. Your entry to Baron is Team Liquid territory. That is not even your territory. It is no longer your jungle.
This is, yeah, you said it lit up like a Christmas tree. These are those like new LED lights. They're shiny, man. They got everything illuminated on this top half of the map. And Baron is spawning in 10 seconds time. They can even take away this blue buff as they've just made it a nightmare for LYON to try and claw their way back into this game.
Yeah, I mean, Saint just showed bot, but he is going to be basing. He does have the Weaver's Wall to try to join any fight, but I think they're just going to start it right on spawn. Wouldn't be surprised if they're 2-minning it right now.
Teleport will come in from Dhokla. Saint's going to walk all the way up, has the Weaver's Wall available. We have summoner spells, we have items, and now we have Zonies completed on Morgan as well. Team Liquid will actually peel off the Baron, and out in comes a Weaver's Wall. QUID's able to sidestep away from it. Dhokla continues the chase, has the team coming behind him, has to flash as Josedeodo jumps onto Inspired. Now goes in with the ultimate. QUID has the Realm Warp, but will instead just walk forward. Unstoppable force, though, onto Josedeodo. LYON are actually getting some damage, but now Yeon peppering Isles down here. Berserker's walking forward confidently, and Team Liquid and Alienware are losing the fight. Another chunk on the Morgan, goes into stasis, but a flash. Berserker's trying to chase down QUID, who will kill Saint. Team Liquid making them work for it, as Yeon is still alive. CoreJJ are still alive. It was looking dicey, but holding the line. LYON are trying to get their AD carry out of there, and they will do so. Close fight, 2 for 2.
Honestly, I like the tenacity from LYON. They just say, we have to engage quickly on one side of this team fight. So they push the Ryze up and out and get the flash there. Dhokla flashing for the slow on him. But in the end, Team Liquid still are able to survive. And guess what? The Dragon is really easy to take, way easier than the Baron. So with the super minion pressure here, LYON have to react again. This Dragon Soul is going to be under attack early. Everybody trying to reset to the Dragon fight.
Yeah, they're going to try to get there. QUID is going to be, respawning a little bit late, but both him and Saint do have those semi-globals to try to join.
Yeah.
Berserker traded flashes with Core in that last fight, so we'll see if LYON can find a way in here. Inspired, I think, gets 16 from this red buff, maybe.
And Dhokla doesn't have TP, so he's got to walk all the way down. They're losing the top wave for this. Saint now has spawned, has the Weaver's Wall coming up here, so it will be another fight at the Dragon as QUID's running from base. Realm Warp coming up soon, but he should be able to make it there in time. Dragon's up. No one's starting it immediately. We're fighting for the mid-wave control first.
Okay, Lion have it taken care of as far as the setup. They're walking in.
Instead, they're going in onto QUID. The Dragon was already started, but QUID could be in some trouble. Goes into the stasis. Has CoreJJ behind him, as QUID will walk back to safety. Lion don't find their pick.
These Weaver's balls are just working against their team, it feels like, every time.
Yeah, the Dragon's already going down here. Team Liquid confirm it. That is 4 Drakes to Team Liquid. Lion did not find their play mid.
I mean, that is tough. It feels like a lot of times this game, Saints' ults have just not been good. You know, he kind of bumps QUID to the other side of the wall, pushes him away from Berserker. I feel like if he just ulted behind QUID, QUID had no flash. You don't need to have this perfect flashy ult into a seismic shove. You literally just need to wall him off, and it's free. Instead, tries to go for the more risky play, doesn't make it happen, and now TL get the soul, and they're probably just going to kill this before there's any contest.
Yeah, I mean, Lion basically bet everything on pushing for that mid. Dragon Soul, look at these shields are huge. Baron is almost gone.
If he can get it, I mean, maybe Inspired can look for a miracle here. Not even going to attempt, as Team Liquid will get the Baron. They'll chase Lion away from the river. Dhokla full retreat mode as Josedeodo continues going forward. Berserker's cutting back. Realm Warp here into the flank as Saint now has to go into the stasis. Inspired's looking for the ensemble force. Only lands on one pop. Blossom to lock him down. Saint's in trouble as he will survive for quite a while, but still falls. Berserker free firing will get one, but claimed by Yeon. Team Liquid played a clean game of League of Legends. The Dragon Soul into the Baron, into the team fight win, and they will march this way bot lane for the win.
What a great series so far. I mean, this game, TL came in with a clear game plan. They attack bot side jungle, they attack the bottom lane, diving over and over, and they're going to even it up.
Say it with me, guys. 1-1. We got a series on our hands. Team Liquid tie it up.
Well done by TL, bouncing back after really dominating game 1. They were able to force on sides incredibly well, and it felt like Lion was just not nearly as coordinated as TL this time. Lounge, what do you think?
Honor Morgan.
I think that Ryze is a cheat sheet for when you want to make side lane plays. And I do think to Spook's point in the